Okay, so the killer power is called the Vial Purge, and I think we saw a quick glimpse of it earlier, but there it is. So this killer vomits.
It's killer vomit.
This is the vomit killer.
There you go.
Dwight seems to not have a good time either.
No one's having a good time about this. So this power has a few parts. There's the vomit itself, which creates sickness in the survivors. As they get vomited on, or once they become infected by the vomit, sickness grows depending on what you do. Running, exerting yourself, doing interactions will make you sicker and sicker until you become, I don't know what the current word for it is, fully sick, which really weakens the survivor. There's, as you can see, objects that get infected by the vomit, so you can actually run around and vomit on all kinds of stuff, and that will sicken survivors who interact with it. And once they're sick, survivors have only one way to cure themselves, which is by using the pool of devotion, which you can see right there.
Which we'll refer from now on as fountains.
Fountains, yeah. Don't call them magic fountains. These are the pools of devotion, or fountains. The fountains are really interesting because they also heal survivors when they use them. And so you wonder, well, that seems like it's pretty easy for survivors to deal with. You get sick, you use a fountain. But there's another aspect to the pool of devotion, which is that the killer can use a fountain that has been corrupted by survivors to gain her own power and to gain the corrupt purge, which I'm not sure if we have the footage of. But the corrupt purge damages survivors who are touched by it. So it really changes the dynamic of what you'll use the vomit power for.
It's really interesting. There's this choice as a survivor to, well, first of all, spread the sickness. So that's not really a choice. It's something that happens. Mm-hmm. So the choice of using the fountain to heal, but also being able to give that ultimate power to the killer, right, or living with the sickness, which is not good at all.
Which is difficult.
Yes.
Yeah, the vomit was an interesting technical challenge. As you can see, it looks pretty awesome here, and I guess I'm just tooting my own horn because I was the one who was working on the vomit mostly. But you'll find it's actually really fun to play with and to throw these streams of vomit across the map and to infect generators and pallets and survivors and watch their hilarious reactions.
Was it very different to make than the hatchets, for example?
Well, it's built on a lot of the same technology, to be honest. And then there's lots of interesting behind-the-scenes magic that turns a projectile into a stream, which I would love to get into more at another time.
Yeah. All right. So, so with the killer and its power, there's also perks coming with it.
I'm sure people I don't even see chat,
yeah,
but I'm sure they're all asking, does she move at regular speed?
Yes,
right?
that's probably a question that's coming.
I knew it. Don't worry, chat, she moves at regular speed.
Is she slowed down when she's charging her power?
At the moment, she slows down when she charges it, but then once she's holding it, she goes back to full speed. Okay. These are details are actually still being fiddled with. This is a lot of the stuff that we would like to see reactions to in PTB. We'll talk about that later.
All right. So,
perks.
Dark Devotion.
All right. Okay, so the first perk of the plague is Dark Devotion. Do you want me to read it out, or do we have it here?
Well, we see the footage, right? You can describe it. You can read it. Go ahead.
All right. I'm just going to go ahead and read it. The display of your powers creates a whirlwind of panic that spreads throughout the land. You become obsessed with one survivor. Hitting the obsession with your basic attack causes the obsession to emit a 32-meter terror radius for a few seconds. During that time, your terror radius is reduced to 0. The effect can only be triggered with a cooldown. I'm being a little bit elusive about the exact numbers. Don't worry, guys, you're going to get them soon. And the obsession does hear the terror radius they emit during the duration of the effect. So this is actually a really cool perk. You essentially put your terror radius on the obsession for a few seconds when you hit them.
So as killer, you don't have the terror radius anymore.
That's right.
That's it.
It is transferred.
The obsession is now carrying your terror radius for a few seconds. And that does also affect all the effects that happen in the terror radius, then happen on this new terror radius that is on the obsession. The second perk is Infectious Fright. The cries of the unfaithful make your heart leap. Any survivors that are within the killer's terror radius, while another survivor is put into the dying state by basic attack, will yell and reveal their current location to the killer for a few seconds. Can we talk about what this perk was called in playtesting?
Yes, you can.
All right. This perk used to be called Shit Your Pants.
Yeah.
Because it makes people scared and they scream.
It's a great name. I just won't allow it for the plague.
No, no. But that was great. We had a lot of fun playing with Shit Your Pants, and honestly, it's become one of my favorite perks to down somebody, see everybody yell, and then go after them.
It's a great combo perk.
Absolutely.
You want to combo it, you get all the survivors to scream and chain them.
Yeah. And the final plague perk is Corrupt Intervention. The 3 generators located furthest from you are blocked by the entity for a few seconds at the start of the trial. Survivors cannot repair the generators for the duration. So essentially, this makes it so that at the beginning of the game, there are less generators to patrol to increase the chances that you're going to find somebody and initiate a chance early in the game.
Plus, either the survivor waits for the entity to come out of the generator, or has to go closer to where the killer is.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting.
So those are the killer's perks.
Awesome.